There we go.
All right.
Hey, all right, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Jim, how are you?
See you.
You good?
Yeah.
Usually I see you either at the bar or the field, and now I see you in
Any addition?
Oh,
shoot.
What's up, Mike? Hey, what's up, Mike?
How you doing, Mike?
Good to see you. Were you at the expo on Saturday?
No.
No?
I wasn't. No.
Oh, okay.
See, I was at the travel expo.
Yeah, the CI expo in
See,
DC.
no.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do that.
It-
I'm only doing one event. I'm only doing the PMA.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly,
I got a
that
limited budget.
that one was honestly the slowest cruise
Yeah.
I've probably seen in the last 7 years.
I went to the leasing summit in May. I might do that one. It's at Martin's Crossroads over in the spring belt.
I see.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's too deep for
You
us.
said for years from now, and that's all.
Yeah. Exactly.
And PMI, I mean, usually try to see not try to say more than we do for the working with the right. It's time here for us to like say it's not something to see the strike.
Well, I'll tell you that guy, man, the president, Lou Shapiro, you know that guy? He throws me so much business.
Oh yeah?
He gave me Bernstein management. He gave me,
Oh, nice.
yeah, he gave me, Ascento. Ascento Racing Park.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I was like, thank you, man. I just,
Thank you guys do it.
yeah, we do like the fishing all the race.
But he's
Oh, yeah, I do all the, I do the Northeast, all the Philly.
Oh wow.
I do Philly down to Charlotte, actually.
Oh, okay.
top.
Yeah.
The corporate side.
Is this? So are you guys part of CI or you just?
No, they keep telling me I should join them. What do you think about it? I mean,
Oh,
is it
for
better-
us it's great.
Is it better than is what's more common?
Yeah, and I truly believe here you can establish more individual relationships as PMR, as you mentioned, is more corporate.
Yeah, it's more like,
but once again, we kind of like creating trouble, so that's why we like the conversation because with them you probably never get into this, but actually you can establish a relationship with apartments.
Yeah.
These villagers are changing like
Oh, yeah, I know.
like
Like
6
all-
months,
or,
yeah,
yeah.
like all the time.
Hey, you guys waiting if you want to get some your drink, we got stuff back here.
Thank you, man.
I like to. I mean, yeah, we will have some
It's just hard because like I gotta to win business.
Hey, man, how you doing, man?
I gotta.
Alright, guys, while we're waiting for this to start, and I have these prizes I'll be doing out. I'm gonna have you fill this out.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Hopefully you brought a pen, or you're gonna borrow one from somebody.
Close something, like go through this next one.
Fill it out, put the name,
Yeah.
email,
What I do with like the property manager of the departments.
Oh, here you go.
that's how I told them. Are
Are
you a new team?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a folder for you. Are you a new team?
No. He's the only one that's here yet.
Yeah, they'll
Hang on to that.
Sign it off and that's it.
Make sure I can read it, because if I can't read it, that's not a lot.
We will start now. We actually sponsored the Christmas event.
I do some Megan Norman stuff.
Eggman Normal.
Yeah.
We do first service as well.
I have a folder for you.
We also own a home implant company.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, so, but we do start business with them as well. We do NRP.
Yeah.
It's pretty good as well. Service first, they also do business with them.
I'll keep my cards in there, and a bunch of I'm gonna try to hang on to moving forward.
Yeah, we do have a couple of tools like some. It gets got some of the
I'm gonna grab some pizza.
Our owners like these people for the
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, one thing that I also try, and you probably know more, you probably
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you have to hit the thing.
It's just like that's just kind of going to like
Yeah.
sleep mode or something like that.
Sleep mode, yeah, I don't know why.
Okay, hey. Exactly, man, looking sharp. Alright, man. Housing market these days. Not around here, no problems around here, right? Crazy. 20% over ask. Not that Not that high. Hey.
Come on in. Those who are coming in, if you guys don't mind, just go ahead and sign in, please, if you can.
Right, like 1.4 million users. Yeah, I saw this from one of my buddies, he created it, and I think he's a first time home buyer, so he's kind of at a disadvantage.
Hey, Teddy. Long time no see, yeah?
Hey, what's up? Give me 1 second here.
Before I forget, because before
I
me and you
know,
get in trouble,
I know.
yeah, just wanna make sure. Now it's all on you now.
I know.
And like, he was looking like in golden Virginia, that's all he said.
Is that the camera for today?
How you doing, man?
Good to see you. Usually seen in a very cold weather, all packed up.
Yeah,
and
this is the first time. Like, first time. I was just telling him earlier because it's like most of the time you see me, it's just like jackets and everything.
Oh, we've had some cold weather.
Yeah.
In the
Oh,
fall.
the rain.
Yeah, yeah.
It was fun, I'm glad I did that. But I got my
We're doing this, eh?
So what happened, man? No more games, would you what?
No more games? No, we played also. Very slow. You did something already?
No,
No?
we canceled.
Oh, yeah. They canceled it because, have you been there?
It was a way better.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Saturday, yeah, it was, but it canceled, yeah, because I had a
Yeah.
couple of games.
That was supposed to.
Alright, here we go.
Good money.
Have you been there?
Coming in.
No, that's awesome, man. I got
Yeah,
something on
actually,
Saturday.
I thought that was gonna be like 40-minute deal.
Welcome.
Made it. Okay.
Awesome.
Still
good.
Yeah.
Those
But they-
white big tents.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge.
Huge.
They have clean and easy and everything inside. Back in the days, it was horrible, especially for the rest of the year, for like 5-6 games. It was like solid. So now it's much better, but the reason why they were poor because on the walls they have some screws and some screws are not secure.
So the air
And the
is
air,
coming in.
no, not that's inside because there's a big wall like that. There's two doors and the screw was unscrewed. They're quite good actually for the players.
Oh, the safety thing.
So they actually closed it and basically. But it's almost over as I mentioned. And there are not that many games actually.
Yeah, I was busy with Ramon too. You know Ramon?
Yeah, I know that one.
I was busy with Ramon. Because he has only 50 and a half. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You guys used to. That's why. That's what. I did this guy. Who's not good? I used to do this. I just started with Ramon last year.
Hey guys, those of you who are coming in, give me 1 second, guys. Those of you who are coming in virtually, please mute your mics. Please mute your mics. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, I'll see you around.
Yes, sir.
What?
Being a manager player for every same time, or?
No. Well, I'm bringing a team from Outlaw.
Yeah, I know. Open.
Remember we played there?
You guys are very good team,
Yeah,
actually.
there's two teams there too. There's Virginia and Maryland. So you want to try to make some
You were gonna play on Monday?
Yes, that's what he did.
Alright.
You want to try to open the division, though, it's a problem for me. I want to do Thursday.
I see. I go over there.
Yeah.
But you can rip them.
Yeah, Sunday. I'm not playing. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
I'm only here just so it's cool as man.
Okay, cool.
I'm not playing with this open man. I can't run these young kids, you know. Not anymore. Yeah, but just, you know, let me know that I was going to go.
For sure,
You
yeah.
just like training, like trying to get them on their team.
No, for sellers, it's really open people. It's like some seminar.
Preparation
And then
for
there's
the
Miami.
Yeah, Miami game.
Ready.
Also,
They're a year out.
you guys don't own tournaments on summertime, like the way you guys did on.
And then we feed them.
One summer.
Like eating like,
Not this this is something.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
And we do an
The
investment
deal
meeting
up,
in
we
here.
did it once in the summer.
Investors.
Uh,
Purchase houses.
and For refereeing, we'll do.
You guys did it last year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is.
In August.
Yeah,
But you guys played 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Last year we don't have
Don't
anybody.
forget home
Yeah.
Wilson.
I'm almost going.
Didn't you even actually have 2 teams 2 years ago? Or just
We had 2 teams.
Yeah.
We had Virginia in middle. Virginia won the UConn.
Yeah. So what's behind what happens?
It's an electrician.
Oh.
Union.
Oh,
It's a union.
Hey guys, if you've not signed in, please sign in. As you come in, please sign in. Come in.
I'm telling you.
Bunch of realtors from our playing with some other teams, and
You a Devils fan?
we're allowed to bring in yes, for the mixed up.
Well, I'm here for one thing. You skip
I'm sorry?
what they're doing right now.
But the mixed up is
No, I'm actually not understanding. We're barely we're so average.
Yeah, they're rough
It's
spot.
annoyingly average.
So your wife was in like,
Oh,
But yeah, no, the goalkeeping is
it's
crazy.
right?
It's not just that, man.
You think? I mean, I don't really watch all that.
That's
but-
what a lot of people think. That's like the.
Okay.
That's definitely a problem.
Cause I saw the Kings game and they had like 4 goals on 20 shots or something.
Yeah, but
yeah.
They don't play the right way. There's a lot of stuff that they do like.
It doesn't always feel surprising that they compare my color.
Yeah. Oh really? I don't know any of this stuff.
yeah, dude, they just do the stats.
Yeah. Besides, that's
Like what are
But they
those?
fired their coach.
Yeah.
So you'll see,
we've done a couple.
yeah, I know, he doesn't work with a,
Yeah, it's not.
I know why he sucks. I mean, I see his numbers in the air. He's been pretty bad. So they traded from last season for playoffs. He didn't fit. For whatever reason, maybe it's how they use him. They paid him a lot.
From 1 to 4.
8 by 8. We can get both over at the same deal. I like. I wanted the Devils to go from that year. Said they got 49. That's not bad. It ended up being terrible.
Is that running for
Was he good? I'm not sure. He was only good.
Live, going live.
It's live right now.
Oh yeah.
Hey, he's fat. Yeah, they're trying to
That's me.
Oh, that's
I
you.
was just trying to see if the link works before I send it to you.
Oh yeah, no, it works.
It does.
There you go.
What's your first name?
Yes.
That guy. He's a 9-9.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I know, man. Yeah. So I also signed for the.
I think some players wanna play on Sunday.
Oh, okay, Ben from ASA.
Maybe Sonora, trying to scrimmage, so I don't know if you guys wanna get a scrimmage in the
Usually by the time of the years.
Oh, that's right.
Time.
It's away from everybody.
I think we automatically win too. I think we did. Fairfax tonight.
I guess.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Lead into the spring because like we're starting to get all that.
They're going to learn on putting your
Yeah, we have.
so
Yeah.
We have 9 games on our schedule that we play. We only play 8. Yeah. And then we're gonna, so we're only gonna get 9 games. He's gonna get 11.
Hopefully we.
Well, I was told on the. Yeah.
Well, last year, he was one of us.
We're gonna go ahead probably. Yeah, just yeah. Okay. You just focus on whoever's talking. What's up, Nielsen? See your pretty face. Very good, bro.
Yeah, we didn't make that.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I want to just make sure that we'll make leads.
Yeah, you guys probably gonna score like
Okay, unfortunately, we just get the money. That's a good
And then
that's what I'm not going to say. But please let me know if you see something, just let me know every time. That would be good.
yeah. So just as long as you get around a game.
I'm pretty sure if we send it today or tomorrow, it will be here this week. She takes them about 3 days to get it.
That's fine.
Okay, thanks.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started here pretty soon. Okay, it is 7:19. I'll wait for Dane and Garth to come. Oh no, you guys, I can wait for you guys to come back over here. Yeah, we have quite a few guys who are going to be attending virtually. So as of right now, give me 1 second here. Let me close this out. That's okay. It's just why it's in demo mode, but we'll just have to make sure it doesn't happen. Okay. All right. Guys, thank you guys for coming in. Sorry we had the live stream start up a little late because I had to get the internet working and all the other good stuff. So we're trying something a little different. To the right is our YouTube stream, so that's what's going. And then this is just this is the virtual stream here. And I got people who are texting me wondering where the stream is, and we put it into the Evite. So those of you who are listening, the stream is in, the link to it is in the Evite. It is in the Evite. Okay, all right, so we'll go ahead and get started. And who's that here texting? Okay. When I get a little bit of a break, I'll address those individuals in just a moment. But I want to thank all you guys for coming. This is meetings is to kick off our spring 2024 season. So my name is Teddy, and I manage men's open division. Dane and Garth, they can raise their hands. There are other directors that help run the league. Well, actually, I help them. I'm just the short, loud, visible one. Oh, hold on. We have someone who's about to. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share this presentation real quick. See if folks will be able to. Well, you guys can see it in here, so that's what matters. So again, thank you guys all for coming. If you haven't signed the sign-in sheet, please go ahead and do so. We have quite a few folks who are attending virtually, mixed from the 30s, 40s, and open. Dane is, well, he's been with NWSL for more than 20 years. He's always one of our directors, but he's also our treasurer. Garth, he manages the 40s, and then I co-lead managing the 30s with him, and then I run the open. But we all work together. So this evening, this is the agenda for this evening. So we'll go ahead. We will meet some of our sponsors and partners. DC United's here this evening. Dan's here with us. We'll also go over some of our accomplishments that we're able to meet in the fall. We will also talk about some of the things that we need to continue to grow and remain healthy. Our head assigner is here this evening. Vallejo is here if you can raise your hand for us. So he's here this evening, and so we'll talk. So he will give us his spiel, and I'll go a little bit over rapport with our crews that work our games. He's been excellent since we've brought him on. Costs, bonds, payments, fields, locations, online registration, which is huge. We've dumped a lot of money into this the last year and a half. So it is going to be mandatory for you guys to be doing online registrations from here on out. It's going to take a lot of workload off of you guys. It's going to take a lot of workload off of us. We're having an all-star game this year, so that's really awesome. We're having a charity all-star game. I'll talk more about that. We're going to be taking an effort to live stream more games. This little setup you see over here is what you will be seeing. You see myself and Rashid using that. He's manning the camera right now. He handles a lot of our social media for us also as well. We are making an effort to relaunch co-ed. So you guys remember NBSL used to have a strong co-ed division back in the day. We managed to get someone who's going to help us out with that. And then we'll go over a few more items. We'll have some votes at the end and then close everything out. So I want to get through this rather quickly. First and foremost, sponsors and partners in no particular order. Jay D'Alessandro has been awesome and always letting us have this room. He's been a long-time supporter of our league. Jay, thank you so much for all you do. And Advanced Kinetics, one of our sponsors. Kilroy's is a brand new one that jumped on board. Well, actually, they're not new to us, but we all know Kilroy's. Finally got them. DC United, of course. The St. James, Inca Social, Toka Socks. So we have a couple brand new ones. We're getting ready to firm up with Goat Hub Apparel and FC Training Grounds. So before we get started, I'll go ahead and Dan, if you give you the.
Because it's going to be a fun year. So it's already started off. We're a hell of a lot better than we were. You can attest to that already. I love our new manager. If you didn't see who we have a new appointee, Troy Charge. We have an actual club structure now with Ali and other technical staff behind it. You will not see Dave Casper's name out there. If you're asking, we hear that a lot. He's gone. So it's a new regime with a fresh outlook on building the club. And it's already started to show. I do know of a couple of other things we're going to have this year, but I wanted to take a minute. As you know, we started the year off on the 24th with Toronto. With the night, I said Toronto again. New England. New England. Thank you. And then we were on the road in Portland. Probably should have won that going away 4-2, maybe 5-2. We played really well on Saturday, but. I'm really excited because the next match is in Cincinnati, who we historically have been poor. We play there, and then we play Miami. Everyone's going to ask me about that. So if you're a new team, you've got a folder there. I want you to keep some of that. It's just a little bit of everything to share with people. The returning ones, a couple weeks after that, we are going to do like our first of a few matches this year, and I'll touch on that. That is the 30th against Montreal. So the good thing about that, yes, I know it's Easter Eve, but you're not playing then, and you're not more than likely playing Sunday. So it's a great family time for the guys that are around. And then we have a couple of other matches we'll bring up this summer. One of them is a big international friendly on July 20th, and I'll be outreaching to you about that. Just waiting for a contract to come back, and I can talk about it. It's kind of a big European side that everybody will know, so it'll be kind of like what we've done before. With that, there may be some open training sessions. And then we're also going to be in the Leagues Cup again, which is the new league initiative where we're playing Santos of Mexico, Santos de Laguna. The date of that exactly is, I don't immediately know, but that'll be our home match. in that first round of that competition. So we'll look at a couple of dates working with Teddy and Garth through the summer, and then we'll probably do another fall. However, the backside of this, and there's a link that we're going to save, by the way, for the 30th that will be going around. It's just some of the general group info. So anytime there's several people I've talked to here that you want to do something with your individual team, or if it's your family or a couple of families, reach out to me. All this stuff I go back and I total, and then we can work with the league and coming up with some more incentives. One of the things we will be doing this year when the weather gets a little bit warmer is we're going to be picking a few people to go out for a VIP visit of watching the first team train. So we had a little bit of a change in the, I would say the first team staff last year, and waiting for all that turmoil to kind of pass over. It's a little bit more settled now, and I know the protocols, and I just need to find the time that works for them as they're just getting the year started. Any questions for me? Because I have one last thing I'm going to touch on, and it's more than 5 minutes, but
You're okay.
if you're asking me about Miami tickets, then we have 2 things that you can do to get that. Right now, it's a full season membership, and there's benefits for that. There's info in these folders if you're new, or I can reach you if you want to take a minute. I have some stuff in the back. There's also a 9-match option with that includes Miami, because any other option, short of a cabana suite that Teddy's buying for the league, which is actually great pitch side, includes food and beverage, there is nothing left. So if you want to reach me, my contact info is on this. I can have that discussion and walk you through the options. But it's going to be a special day at 2 o'clock on Saturday the 16th. And we're going to have a lot of people that don't go to the matches regularly, so be patient if you are looking to go. Also be wary of people that are trying to resell on the secondary market. I just talked to somebody today who thought they had bought seats. They did not. Because everything we can do, we track and vet that stuff, but they fell for something else and forwarded money. So be very aware of people trying to unfortunately take advantage of that. That's why it's best to come back to the club, always first, okay? Any questions? Going again? In a little bit, if we have a break, I'll pull some of the names of people that filled out the enter to win, and that way I can leave the stuff with you guys going forward, okay?
All right. Awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
man.
you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna try and see if I can somehow share. Well, we can have that done on the live stream. That's fine too. Okay, so moving forward. All right. Well, what did we accomplish this fall? Well, we were able to be a bit more visible last fall. We live streamed our semifinals and championship games. The final 2 weeks of the fall, I was probably nervous as all hell because we had multiple big games going on at a time, and that's something we haven't had in a long time. And so we've, you know, as you guys know, we operate as a nonprofit, so whatever extra money we have, we always put it back into you guys. And you know, we invested some money, and you know, it was great. I didn't realize there were so many folks who had no problem braving the cold weather to come out and watch some semifinals and championship games out in Robinson Stadium. So we're gonna make more of an effort to do that this season for you guys. We also added new teams last fall. We added some more new teams coming on this spring. We rolled out our captain's portal to where teams can, you know, captains, you can send out your individual invitations to your teams. Requires you to also accept the waiver too also as well. The referees are gonna love this one. We have a paperless check-in system. So it's about 95% complete. I am strongly anticipating that we'll have that being rolled out when the season starts. Our social media presence has grown also as well. We're over 1,200 followers on Instagram, and we just hit 800 followers on Facebook this week. So, what do we need? Well, Rashid here is one example of someone who stepped up to help us. You know, we also we work together, you know, off the field, and he, you know, gives his time. We also have someone who recently stepped up to help us with co-ed. And then we also have a gentleman who also helps us with outreach. So, you know, that helps us be able to get the things, you know, for instance, be able to garner these partnerships and whatnot. We can only do it with help. So we're a small staff, and we volunteer our time. Lead growth, any leads for additional sponsors, please send them our way. Every little bit helps us. You know, look at this little setup that we have over here. We're able to, again, we use that money to further benefit you guys and the league itself. League health. You know, there's some leagues that, you know, make it mandatory for teams to have you know, social media page. You know, if we really want to continue on the path that we're on, I strongly urge all teams to do that. Whether you play in the Open, whether you play in the 30s, whether you play in the 40s, you know, doing that, tagging us, that helps us, and that also helps you guys. For instance, let's say if you guys want to hold tryouts, right? Maybe half your team moved out of state. I don't know. You see a lot of amateur teams in this area do that. It's nothing that's new. It's not anything that's trending. It's what's necessary to be able to maintain your teams, and also to maintain the health of our league. And we'll help you do it. I'll give you an example. We recently had an over 30 tryout for a new team. We had 30 people show up, and this was just last week. And so I spent the last 2 Sundays working with another person getting that team together. So you know, there are people who are wanting to play. And then lastly, you know, when I first started volunteering, I was told that, you know, it would be exceedingly difficult to restart the Open Division. Well, we were able to do it. And those who have come and who have stayed, who have committed, I want to thank you guys, because that's how we can get it done. So I urge you guys to continue doing that. And this is not just in the Open, but in the 30s and the 40s as well. Same thing, we have plans to start co-ed. I'll share that message with them. It's the only way we want to be able to get to where we want to get to. I think we do a great job. I think we're well run. I think we're well organized. This is a historic league, and we put in a lot of work the last 2 years to really bring it back. You know, we still have a lot of work to do, but you know, anything that you guys can do, we are more than appreciative and more than grateful. All right. Well, we're going to chat a little bit about the rest of it. Filippo, do you want to come up real quick and? I don't want to put you on the spot. Yeah. Before I go, but yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces. My name is Veliko. I do represent DC Nova, which is a referee organization in Virginia. For us, it's great to be back and working again with NVSL, because back in the days, I'm sure that Garth and they remember that we used to work together, but it's our pleasure just to be part of such a organized organization. I'll be assigning the Open in the over 30, and the only request or favor that I can ask is just respect and patience. I truly believe that any situation can be explained in a respectful conversation, so that's what I'm asking for. I truly believe that we have a great group with the referees, couple of regionals, lots of candidates for regionals, which actually NVSL itself right now brings the attention and the interest actually referees actually to come and ref these games just because of the quality of the games. And as well, you probably know these guys, but we have 2 national badges as well. Once again, I truly believe that we have a great group. I don't want to take more time on that. Referees should not be the attention of anything. So thanks again for having me, and good luck to all teams.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take one quick natural break and have Dan, because he wants to raffle out some items real quick. So those of you, like I said in the e-bite, you know, you never know what he's going to give out. So please, you know, show up. You never know what you're going to get.
Hey Teddy.
Yes.
SimCity's in the waiting room or something?
Sorry about that. Okay, because I have this. Okay. Ooh, let's see here. I don't see. Usually.
You didn't give me one.
Oh, admit all. Okay.
You
Okay.
gotta fill it out.
Hey guys,
You gotta
sorry
plug it
about
in.
that. I didn't hear the chime. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a few prizes here, no particular order, just kind of mixing these up. Andy, you got a hat. You all right? There you go. All right.
Nice.
Let's see here. Next. Can you read that? Cause my
Sure.
eyes.
Oh, this is a Saeed right here.
All right, man. I've got another one for you too. There you go.
Yeah, because I'm bald, right? Right, they're bald.
Yeah, we're both in the
That's
same
exactly
club.
what it said.
All right. Again, Eric. Is that
Uh,
right?
Eric Enriquez right here. Wash
Okay,
boys.
Eric, you are a tall guy, tall lad, so let's give you one of these, okay?
Appreciate it,
You
man.
got it, man.
Mhm.
Okay, and hang on. Jason.
Yep, there you
we
go.
What are the odds, huh? There you
These
go.
are pretty nice, by the way.
Yeah, there we go. I got one more, a couple more. William. All right. That's why you filled it out, my friend.
There it is.
This is not what you need.
There you go.
That's good.
Okay.
Make it work.
Yeah, all right. And, how about,
Let's see here. Oh, this is, who's representing Coach Abamba?
Me.
Okay.
oh, there we go. Okay. So, thank you guys very much. Also look for the links that we have. We may be doing something as a fundraiser to help the league with this, but I wanna experiment with this one for the 30th, so take a look at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I gotta go
Thanks so much,
home.
Dan.
I gotta pick up dinner.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
While we're on that natural break, I noticed that Doug Homer from the St. James is in here. He's here virtually. Doug, can you hear us? Doug?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry. I
Yeah.
was just
Would
on
you? Yeah. Since you work with us, would you like to go ahead and say a few words? I'm so sorry for those who did not get admitted. I didn't hear the chime, but Doug, Doug is attending virtually. As a matter of fact, we have a game tonight at the St. James. But Doug, please go ahead.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I can't be with you guys in person. I just came from a training session on the field, so I could come up here and join you. But just wanted to say thanks to all of you who have been working with us to make sure that we can deliver a 9v9 Winter League experience. I know it's had its hiccups this season with some of our issues with our operations team and of course with our concierge team, and I apologize for that. There have been some people that made some decisions that are no longer with us, so we're working towards correcting that and making sure that it's professional as much as possible. To that very point, I want to thank the board of the NVSL for believing in us and working with us to provide this opportunity and to grow the league. I think this year is the first year in several years where we were able to double in size, and that's in part due to the leadership of the board and its relationships. So thank you to you guys for that. We hope to do the same going into 24-25 if there's a possibility of growing into a third division, so more 35 and older teams can have an experience in the winter and stay healthy and fit. We're almost at the end of this season. Tonight is the last night of regular season match play. There's 3 matches tonight. The first one is in 20 minutes, and then there's another 2 after that, and then we'll begin playoffs starting tomorrow and into the rest of the week, with the season wrapping up on the 13th of March for both first and second divisions. So we'll be updating the schedule for playoffs as soon as tonight's matches finish. We'll release that and make sure everybody knows what their fixtures are. The top 6 teams in each division will play in the playoffs, and the bottom 2 will play a consolation for each division. So everybody gets at least one more game after the regular season concludes. And we'll work with you guys to incorporate as much of your feedback as we can, as we always have. I just want to say thank you again for being part of this winter season here. It's been very successful.
Thank you so
Turn
much.
it back over to you.
Thank
Debbie.
you so much, Doug. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. All right. Again, anyone, forgive me if, again, I think when I have the PowerPoint up, it mutes stuff in the background. So I'll go back and forth and try and, yes. You got to run? Okay, no problem.
We have a game at 8.
No problem. Well, okay, at the St. James. There you go. All right.
Oh,
At least you showed you were here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Cool.
but yeah, this is one of our guys is online.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's virtual.
Got it. All right. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Say.
you guys.
All right.
See
Thank
guys
you.
tomorrow.
All right. So I'm gonna just breeze through the rest of this, guys, so that we can get to votes and all of that, and so we can get out of here by 9 o'clock. Again, like what Vallejo said. Regarding referee and player rapport, look, we've put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into really beefing up the officials that we have. They're human beings. They're perfect. You guys are human beings and not perfect. I'm not perfect either. I have my moments on the field too. But as I said, as what Vallejo said, and what I'm imploring to everyone here again, just be mindful of how we treat our crews. Like we do have some. Because since we got reaffiliated, we've been able to get some regional level refs who are trying to move up. So the quality and even the anecdotal feedback I've gotten from some of the teams, it has gotten a lot better, and it's going to continue to get better. And Vallejo is one of the most well respected assigners in this area. So again, he does his best to get the best talent he can. We get people emailing us, hey, I have this amount of experience. Can I work for your league? I'll forward it to him and he vets them out. So again, we really work hard on that front. Just to give you an example, we had a referee who tendered a resignation letter, unfortunately. He said, I will not do any more games in our league because there were a couple, instances where, there was a situation, oops, here we go, we got one person jumping in. Welcome, Jason. Where we had a player who decided to, charge at a ref with fists, and I'm going to leave it as that. So stuff like that is unacceptable. We just can't have that. Let's make it a point to reduce, the incidence of verbal abuse and that kind of thing. Overall, we did pretty well last year, but when there are incidences that cross the line, it really eats up the time of myself, Dane, and Garth, where we have to sit there and investigate that crap, and that's not what it should be about, okay? Again, have good player rapport with the refs. Again, there's not a whole lot of them in the area, so you may have one ref in one game in the morning, you may see that same ref in the evening in a different league. That's just the nature of the game. General conduct. Overall, the conduct of all the teams overall have been good. We have strong team managers, and I want to make it a point for me to, I want to touch on this a little bit. Those of you, and Eric, I want to touch on it, but you just a little bit. Like, remember when you first wanted to join the league, I kind of asked you how strong was your leadership, and all that. Eric has good control over his team. Ryan has good control over his team. And so when new teams come in, I always ask, how's your leadership, right? That's important. So, and it's you guys that drive the way this league, the direction you guys go is the way this league is going to go. So, team managers continue to do a good job, holding your players accountable. We had maybe a couple incidences of where us and Garth and Dane, we did have to, unfortunately levy out some, harsh suspensions, but at the same time, the behavior warranted it, so certain things like, if you're using sexist language, racist language, homophobic stuff, like that's what we're not going to tolerate it here. And, again, overall, we did really well in the fall, and I want us to continue that into the spring, okay?
Teddy, can I say something quick?
Yes.
As somebody who's been a referee for many years and a manager of players, I know it's really hard to contain your team, but you need to say something to your team pretty much each and every game, saying don't be assholes to the referee. And if you don't, they think they're free to do whatever they want, and people think they can. So you know your players better than I do, but I really encourage all of you every game to remind your players, like, hey, respect the referee, let me talk to him rather than you guys.
Right.
It makes a big difference.
And that's the reason I point out examples of certain team managers in here, right? I've had instances where a team manager has come up to me and said, "Hey, I know that you guys suspended this player, but we're just going to remove him because what this person did was just beyond unacceptable," right? And so that's why I applaud the managers that we have, not just in this room but league wide. And again, you guys are a proper reflection of what we want. So. Again, we've done fines, we've done performance improvement plans, we've done all that stuff to get people on the straight and narrow. But again, overall, let's keep up the good work. Another thing too, also as well, since we're making more of an effort to live stream games, and even if we're not live streaming games, just be mindful of where you have your friends, your family, spectators, and all of that. When we have games at Robinson. Those of you who've seen me on the sideline, hey, get to the other side of the field, or please go sit in the stands, right? Like that for a reason. So please continue to do that. Especially when we live stream games, we don't want to look tacky, right? Because people do watch. People do come to the games when they see a live stream announcement. So please be mindful of that. Again, with Robinson Stadium. Oh, before I move to that, children also as well. We have parents, people who bring their kids to the game. We're really going to be tightening up. If we see your kid running around too close to the field, I'm going to have a chat with the team manager, and we're going to get that straightened out because we cannot afford that liability. I've seen too many close calls in the last year and a half. I've tried to be nice about it. For lack of a better term, but there's plenty of seating and viewing for everyone. Just go sit in the stands. The referee crew will remind you of that. If it becomes problematic, they will tell us, and then we will then have to address it. So, again, let's not have that issue. And then lastly, again, just listen to what they say on the field, and we'll be fine. Okay, so costs. Format payment. So with the open division, that's pretty much set in stone. It looks like we are going to have 8 teams in the open. There might be a couple late ones that might jump in, but it looks like we have 8 confirmed. I highly doubt they would want to change the format from having consolation games, so it would just be a straight 8-game regular season. Top 4 teams go. The cost is $2,000. You can go online and pay right now. The price is there for the open, so you can go and get that taken care of. With the 30s and the 40s, we're going to take care of that this evening. So with that, the 30s, it looks like there's a high likelihood we could have 12 teams in the 30s. So that's a big jump. Wow. We've practically doubled in the last year. So if that happens. And I'm going to brag a little bit over Rashid a little bit here. He's done a lot of work with that too. So we've got a lot of exposure. So with a lot of work he's been doing, people want to come and play. But if we do get to 12 teams, that means then we will have to play on Wednesday night. It will be Wednesday and Thursday night games. So keep that in mind. If we stay at 11 teams, we'll have to do bye weeks. But either way, now we're talking about the schedule being kind of tight, so we're going to have to make some compromises here in order for us to be able to finish our season, before the permits run out. Likewise, the 40s as well. We'll decide the cost of the 40s. The 40s is jumping to 8 teams this year, so that's good. The general game costs $255 for a center and 2 ARs. And then there's a performance bond for the open division. I'll explain that in the next slide. Payment methods we accept. You can pay online using credit card, and we also accept Venmo. And if you do write a check, we'll take a little bit of money off of that, so off of your registration. So contact us about that, and we'll get that taken care of for you. Performance bond is only for the men's open division. Those of you who played with us in the spring, you remember my spiel that I had late last year. I wasn't happy with the teams who were flaking left and right, but again, I want to give kudos to the Open. You guys did a complete 180. We only had one forfeit. almost no issues. Having a performance bond keeps teams honest. So if you don't show up for your game, you're responsible for the cost. If your sportsmanship is not good, we will take money out of it. And so when folks have that in the back of their mind, it really kept folks on the straight and narrow. And all the team managers were in favor of it last year, and I don't see why. Well, it's a budgetary item, so we can put it in, but it worked really well. So teams that are already here that played last year, your bond automatically rolls over, so you don't have to repay that. Teams that are brand new coming into the open division, again, this is open specific, you will have to pay a $300 bond. So once you pay a registration, I'll send out a separate invoice for you to take care of. And then if you somehow exhaust your bond throughout the season, that means you would have to replenish it. Okay, online registrations, waivers, and all of that. So as I said, we dumped a lot of money into this. So the standard moving forward is you need to register your players online. That's it. So those of you who played the St. James, those of you who played in other leagues who do have this system, this is it. It allows us to be able to have all our players. Oh, someone is about to jump in. Who's here? Oh, someone has a question. How much is it for the 30 division? Luis, I'll answer that question in a moment. Yes, so everyone has to do this. Why? Well, aside from all your players taking in the waiver and signing it and accepting it, we're also having an electronic check-in system that the referee is going to be using. All right, I already had a few referees test it out. So far, they're satisfied with it. We just have to make a couple tweaks to it. But your roster is going to appear there. So if your name is not there, then we got a problem. So now the good part about it is that once you're set up, you can do it on your phone. You can even do it on your phone. You can do it on the field. If you forgot to add somebody, just oh crap, send them an email and they accept it. It takes all but 2 minutes to do. So no more of you guys having to send us Excel spreadsheets and you're having to ask your teammates, hey, what's your address? What's this? What's that? Make them do it. Okay? So that's the whole point of it. Something to note, your registration cost covers up to 18 players. As I said, we're affiliated with NBC VSA, so your 18-man roster will be sent to them as well to Fairfax County. You can carry up to 25 on your roster, and if there's anyone if you have additional players who want to have additional supplemental who are outside of your 18 players, just let us know, and we can get you taken care of on that front. Okay, and then lastly, with this whole system that we've built out, it's going to make it so easy to track who all the leading scorers are in the league, right? So in the Open, we do Golden Boot. Well, I would love to do Golden Boot in the 30s. I would love to do Golden Boot in the 40s, but I'm manually tracking that information in the Open. With this new thing, literally at the end of the game, the ref puts in who scored, and it automatically updates on the website, and the final scores automatically updates in real time. So it's a really good resource to have.
Hey, Teddy,
Yes.
if we've already had our players register, do they have to register again, or is that already saved in the system? Like from last season, did that transfer over to the new season?
Good question. So the long and short end is no, we're not there yet. Okay, and part of it is every season you just don't, to be on the safe side, especially with the waivers. Mm-hmm. Maybe you may have 1 or 2 guys come in. We're not at a point where we can quite do that yet. We will. So the safest thing is just every season, new login and all of that. Okay.
Hey Teddy, what was
Yes.
it for guests on the? Can you go back a slide?
Yes. Regarding guests? Oh, guests, but have a waiver?
Yeah.
Okay. Good question. So you have a couple options of that. Well, one thing is, if you really want to, you could, you could temporarily add that player onto your roster if you want. You can do that. Another thing we can also do is we can send you a Google link for the guests to fill out, and that would be good. That's good for the whole year, so they don't have to keep doing it. Okay. Okay. Field locations. So Thursday nights, this is when the 30s play. We have Robinson over for Wednesday and Thursday night. The girls, we have the field starting at 9 o'clock. We have Loisdale starting at 9 o'clock. Luther Jackson starting at 9 o'clock. And we have Wakefield with the only early slot at 7:30. And we will squeeze 2 games there. As I said, if we do reach our max for the 30s, then we will have Wednesday night games. Sunday night, the open and the 40s play. So we have Robinson and Wakefield starting at 5. And we have the stadium, Robinson Stadium and Wakefield starting at 5. And we have Robinson Upper and Pine Ridge starting at 7. Something I also want to make note about, the days for makeup games and team practices and all the other good stuff. And, Dane touched on it last year, and I'm going to reiterate it, is that, if you guys know that you absolutely just cannot play, right? And the tradition here, it's, having random forfeits all over the place is just unacceptable. Even our league rules even say if you forfeit 2 games in a 12-month period, you could run the risk of not even being scheduled again. So just be sure to get ahead of that. We can make up games, and there are teams who do a good job of letting us know. Like, let's say, your team's gonna be out for a tournament, this week of July or something. We can work with you to, have that game played on another day or something like that. But we're one of the few leagues that will allow you to do that. But it's not something that it should be a habitual thing. But again, just work with us. But don't come to me 2 days before a game or hours before a game asking, wanting me to work a miracle, because the refs aren't happy about it. Some of them drive an hour and a half away to come and ref. And, if they see that's habitual, they're just not going to come. And, so let's make a good habit out of it. Let's, make a good habit about showing up for our games. Charity All-Star Game. So this is huge. We've partnered with Falls Church High School, the Virginia Super Soccer League. I know I don't mention names of other leagues, but this one is different because we're working with them on that. So the Virginia Super Soccer League, I've been working with the commissioner there. And then a local food bank. We're all going to be partnering together to have an all-star game, a charity all-star game. So it's likely going to be on June 12th, which is a Wednesday at Falls Church High School. So it'll be a match between Falls Church High School alumni and NVSL and VSSL players. I don't know if we've done anything like this before, any local leagues, or maybe it's been a long time, but VSSL is 100% on board. The alumni is on board. We got to come through, and we wanted to do something like this because it's different, it's fun, and not to mention that we can also show that NVSL cares about the local community too, also as well. I don't see why anyone would want to say no, to helping out a local food bank. Something to note. About 63% of the kids that go to Falls Church High School are on food assistance. So meaning that when they rely on their school meals to get them through the day. They're also, as you guys know, if you haven't been out there lately, they're renovating the school, their weight room. Well, they can renovate the weight room, but they can't buy new weights. Their weights are like 25 years old. So, this is a good initiative to be able to kind of, help out the local community, help out some local kids too also as well. So all I'm asking is, every team league-wide, send a couple players, 2-3 players. I don't know if you guys have ever watched any, European-style charity matches where, Zidane versus Ronaldo, charity match for poverty or something. Those games are fun, and that's the style that we're going to do it. So it's not going to take a lot of your time and your energy, so just come through, all right? And as the details unfold, I will send out an email to everyone. I've been working with the VSSL for really all winter on this. We have meetings once a week. So along with the head coach of Falls Church High School. So it's going to be really fun. Live streaming. Like I mentioned, we're live streaming more games. So you guys see those on YouTube. This is the setup we're going to be using. So we're making a point to live stream more games for you guys. So none of you guys bother me asking me for highlights. That was a joke. It was lame. Or we'll also be on YouTube. So you can your whole game will be there. We'll still post highlights and everything and all of that, but at least you'll be able to rewatch your game. So, if you didn't have a good result, you can watch and see what happened. Or better yet, you got friends who want to watch you guys play, send them the live link. The only thing I ask is, you guys have seen me working the sidelines, right? I do that on my own free time, so don't bother me when something doesn't go right on the field. It's not my problem. I have no control over that. Okay, I am there just to shoot video. Sometimes I'll run for 3 straight games. The last thing I want to hear is people complaining about something that I have no control over. VAR does not exist in the amateur game, so don't ask me, hey, can we change something? Nope. My answer is going to be no. I'm going to tell you, don't ask me again. With that being said, we're really going to tighten up on your jerseys, right? There are some teams that still from time to time have a problem of, not wearing numbered jerseys. We've had instances where a whole team shows up and they don't have a number. That's not good. The refs hate that. We don't like that. And then if we're going to be live streaming games, it just looks tacky. So if that happens, and I bring camera out and I see people not wearing their stuff, I'm just not going to do the game. Garth, were you going to say something?
Yeah, as well as the jerseys, we really want to try to make everything look as good as we can with the uniforms. So we'd like everyone to try to get matching socks, matching shorts, if you can. I mean, we've used black shorts, black socks all the time. I mean, it's something simple. So if you can do that, great. It just looks better, especially for live streaming, and these games are public.
Yeah, and I was also going to mention too. Last year we were dabbling with, because we do have a rule regarding the matching of items, and we're going to be a bit more legalistic about if someone doesn't have a proper jersey on or missing a number. Well, this time around we're going to be enforcing it. I believe it's a $25. It's always been a $25 fine. So please, don't wear a jersey with like another league name on it, or don't have a taped number on there. Don't have some. It needs to be a proper jersey. Okay, don't look tacky. All right. We can help you with some jersey options too, also as well. And then co-ed. So we are a young lady reached out to us, and she's going to be volunteering to help us relaunch our co-ed division. Her name is Brittany Grant Manning. She's has experience as a youth league director, and so she's been in a couple league meetings with us, and we're real happy to have her on board. So we are making an active attempt to relaunch co-ed, and it's going to happen this summer. All right, so it is 8:06. We'll take about 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so, and what I want is for the team managers in all the respective divisions. So here's some things I would like for you guys to consider, and anything else you guys want to consider for a vote this evening. Okay, if there are any rules or anything you guys believe that need to be adjusted, the rules are online. I've told you they've been online for some time. Pat, go ahead.
Hey, yeah. Do you mind sharing your screen so that we can participate in the vote when the YouTube and the Google Meets are a little misaligned?
Yeah. So I can give me 1 second here.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Those online, can you guys see that? Can someone just say, mention yes or no?
No, yeah.
You can?
No, he can't.
You cannot. Okay, I was trying to use the share screen here. Let's see. Oh, hold up. All right, let's try that again. All right, can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, all right, great. Okay. I'm just flipping between that because sometimes there's some folks who are wanting to jump in to the virtual meeting and they're arriving late, so it's okay. All right, so we'll break here. Okay, so some of the stuff that you guys should really consider. This is a time where you guys can make any changes or proposals or anything like that. If you go online to nvslsoccer.com and you go over to the menu section, you can find the rules and the docs there. We've had that there all year, actually for almost 2 years now. So if there's anything that you guys want to change, if you scroll all the way down to it's a PDF. When you download it, when you go down to the bottom, you will see the current addendums that were there from the fall. So have a look at that. I'll also try and share screen it too, also as well on my laptop. For the 30s and the 40s, tonight we need to decide our pricing. Okay, we need to decide that tonight, and then I could update that on the website, and folks can pay and start getting their teams together. Okay.
Kind of explain the factor there. It just depends on how many games we decide to play based on the number of teams.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys could hear that. So the reason why we kind of held off is, again, new teams have come in, and you guys know that our purpose is to keep the prices as reasonable as possible based on the number of games that we know that we're going to play. So that's the reason why we've held off on that. So we will do this tonight before we leave. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and set my timer. I'm going to say, it says 8:09 on my phone. I'm going to say 8:10, and I'm going to set our timer to 15 minutes. So at 8:24, we will resume. Okay? All right. Any questions, anybody, at this point? Okay. All right. Yes.
Teddy.
Yes.
Teddy.
Yes, sir.
Do we really need 15 minutes to figure out what to vote on?
We can come back sooner. It just, I just give a gracious.
First, maybe we should ask: is there any question as to what to vote on?
Well,
before we need to figure out if we need time to figure it out, right?
Okay. All right. Okay.
You don't have to entertain my thought, but I'm just trying to be done.
Listen. I hear you, Jason. I gotta jet out of here too. I hear you. So
I know you got a game.
Yeah, I do. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
So since you play in the 40s, we're going to have 8 teams in the 40s.
Right.
So the format for last year was, I think you guys played 10 games, and I don't know if you guys want to have playoffs this year, if you want to keep doing league format. So on the shared screen, this is what I have up for the divisions to decide. So, if there's a proposal that you want to put up front regarding the format of your division, that's something that you ought to be thinking about now.
I already expressed that concern last year where I prefer playoffs, but we did the table format this year. If we could do playoffs, I would be up for that again this year.
Okay, so right,
that'd be my vote, but I don't know how many people are here to vote on that.
Well, we can only do who's here and who's present for the 40s, but what we will do is we will have votes for the open first, the 30s and the 40s, and then quickly close everything out. So if that's something you want to vote on, I would write that down, and when that time comes, we're going to go ahead and take that issue up.
Yeah, I think the only other thing we were considering voting on from some emails was the starting date. Whether we wanted to start before or after the FCPS spring break.
Okay, that's fine too. So anything at all is fair game to vote on. Okay.
already had
Yeah,
two nieces.
I think Garth is there too. He'd be, I don't know if Jay's still there or not, but
Yeah, I had
They're
an
here.
be at least
ACL
three
and
of
a
us.
couple meniscuses.
Yeah, they're here.
Same leg.
They're
Okay.
here. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, Teddy, thanks.
Well, ACL here, meniscus, meniscus, and then the same meniscus again.
The way we could do this,
Yeah,
we could do like two divisions.
you gotta work with what you got. It runs in my family. My dad had like 3 surgeries. My cousins, I have, I think, no, she's almost had her third surgery. My brother's had 2.
That's
What
10
am I
years.
gonna do, you know?
And then
Had a few games
top
in a row in
teams-
different
I can't
leagues
do it
last year
after
where people were
because
just snapping their ACLs. Maybe
Yeah,
you,
and like,
like I was scared to cut.
Now,
Yeah, it would
oh
just
my
be a
God.
tear and
It's the turf, yo, yeah. I'm really big on like the studs you wear. I wear like the Nike makes some good artificial grass cleats, and I feel like when I play, like my joints feel less stressed like the next day, you know. Because they don't, like, people are always like, oh, I've never had a problem. But actually in the playoff game with you guys, one of our guys, he wore the Mercurials with the really sharp claws. Towards the end of the game, remember back then? Yeah, he tore his ACL. Just remember he went back in and then he made one cut and he was like, nope.
Yeah, when he came back in, I was like, what is he? That guy goes hard.
He's fast.
Yeah.
He is the fast, he might be the fastest dude I've played with.
I go back 5 minutes before it happened. I was talking to one other one of our center backs. I'm like, this guy's gonna get hurt running like this.
He went back. I mean, we had some guys that had like knee injuries and we're like, I don't know, dude. And then my friend who had never had any knee injuries, like, dude, he said he's fine. I think he's fine to play. And I'm like, all right, dude.
Put him out there.
What do you want? If you really want, dude, I kind of want to win if you're a beast, then whatever.
Next they'll drag you out there.
I mean, and then that's crazy. Though. He had never had an injury. It just takes one, you know.
It's like,
That's,
so they were replaced by.
and now you're injured.
I mean, I don't say replace.
Yeah, do they still have it there?
Because they so they renovated the inside, and then they decided they had to do the outside after, which made no sense. Is that open now?
Yeah.
I got 13 weeks.
Would it have the net? Yeah,
So they're
how hot it comes? Yeah,
It
yeah.
was sound inside, but they kind of renovated. I mean,
Because I feel like that was the
40 or something like that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
They put a tip, so it's better than last, but
I got 13.
so that surface over there is not like you
But
carpet.
that's funny.
So what that was,
It's different than what it used to be.
At the time, with the
So when they put up those big, like, almost like the hockey plexiglass, yeah. They didn't change the turf then, I don't think.
Yeah, but
They did after, so they do everything back.
I don't know, I've seen pictures that
I know that we're so used to playing everybody,
because the same reason.
right? But then like,
So wait, we're not gonna be playing, we're not gonna be playing,
Kind of like
Memorial
these
Day.
walls that you mentioned, like you do like not have so they have to shut it for a little bit. But it's back.
it keeps doing that.
I just couldn't believe they redid the inside and then decided they were gonna shut it down for 2 more years after
I
that.
don't, yeah, I don't really care, I mean, like, I do.
Oh, there's
still
sometimes
have
it's rough.
Do they still play the, they used to split it between there and, that indoor, that they.
No, they don't,
The community center.
they don't do it.
That's what I got my head split open there. Because they were, you know, it's makeshift. I don't know if you ever saw it, had a restaurant for a year. But it was,
That's what I meant to do.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like, it's not a permanent structure, so they put up the boards and they put them together and a guy checked. So the one pane of glass went out and this one came forward and just slammed it right on the head.
Games and made the playoffs, so
So,
I feel like that would have, that would not have been a, there would be no momentum, no
I had,
and that's like stitches or whatever.
But there were like 2 minutes left, so I didn't realize how deep it was at first. So I just went in the bathroom and just like, but I went back in and scored it. But then I'm like bleeding everywhere.
They'll play in the playoffs, everyone's in. So you'll see one grade.
It was a different type of play, but it was dangerous if guys played
And
around the board.
and they would lose, they would lose a bracket.
So it's kind of like, think about like, the surface, so think about like.
So we can have a real cup.
The walls were great when they redid it. They got rid of the nets and everything else.
Right.
So if it's a 10 game, and then there's a final
Doing
match
games.
of 11.
I mean, playing, I'm not saying it's just like, oh, I wasn't a summer, but for referee being there.
So basically, we come out with the same thing as what we did.
So we have 11.
Because right now it's
top
top
6.
Are you guys just low on draft? I know it was bad.
It's always first round.
First top team, like
Getting better organization.
Right.
So Jason is on.
To believe the level that you guys do.
Was that-
No, that's what I'm saying, you have a lot. You have a
The
lot.
first round team has busy.
But then
Yeah.
you have two winners.
It really is good. The nice one is a different one.
So Jason said that's the one that he was saying he was struggling with. Well, you need to let me know earlier so I can help you out.
So it's
But I
kind
told
of
me
the
that
same
last time.
format.
They were short hands always.
And then
Yeah, I might go research. I'm not sure
seeing how many
about it.
guys he's got.
Get to
I just don't want to have to go work my way up again.
I know that
So you
Najee is good with the Rangers.
Yeah.
They're good.
I stopped out once I got out of
Let's
school
say,
though.
let's say.
Do you play on Thursdays as well?
Jason.
I'm gonna play Thursdays with the team too.
Ali's team.
You know, and like, and there's
Well,
also that
what's
aspect
funny is
of
the
like,
reason I stopped doing it.
okay,
So
Let's-
it
let
used to
me,
be great money.
you know, low rate teams get it, and they somehow run the table.
So if you have multiple jobs,
Oh, yeah.
kill you.
So you got, where are you gonna,
But
I'm over 30.
thinking about it. Part of it is some of the revenue. I just can't stand the
Some
revenue.
players last
Year one for people. This league is over. You do it. Like, it's the reason like I don't play FXA and like the competitive and elite games that they had.
I saw you over there.
The reffing there was the worst thing ever.
That's literally the reason
And I'm pretty,
that's the reason we joined this.
I'm pretty reasonable and
For either argument.
some of the stuff I saw there was just unbelievable.
We had a rep. It was first for second FXA league, so it's gonna be heated, right? This guy was super ill prepared. He was like, after the game, I mean, he sold us the game. He gave us cards for like looking at him wrong. And he has so well prepared. We come up to him, we're trying to speak to him. He didn't even let us talk. He's like, hey, I work on Wall Street. I went to a top 5 business school in the country. How do you get a B here? I'm here for you guys.
I might know a ref.
I'm like, I don't care what you are. You're a referee right now, and you just screwed us. He tried to put a complaint against us. I was like, bro, there's no way.
I think there never was a player.
Preparation is very important. It depended on because especially when it's a championship.
I mean, you have context.
Definitely be so important. Because I think if we had like before that, then you probably saw this, right, and there were 10 weeks, we were like, oh, don't put it for you. And then you probably just each team twice, and then at the end.
Get along with one, not so much the other, but yeah. And I get along with all three of them, but yeah.
How many weeks do we have?
I mean, I'm the kind where I've never had a problem with the ref. Even if they mess up, I don't know. It's like, what do I gain from maybe being the ref?
I think it's seasonal, right?
It was
precedent for 10 game season.
Actually, it was one that I'm like, alright.
Well, and that's another thing. So
But I
Once
was
I had to
saying,
fight that game, it was hilarious. As he was the ref, he lost his mind. I don't know what he was thinking. But he's been alright since. I think he actually has ref the game with the ball.
So I think it's some may not each other.
Whoever we had ref the game, where the cops had to come and, you know, fight. I don't know.
That's 13 weeks, Dan. That's 13 weeks.
Eddie. Oh, yes.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, for over 30s this season,
Yeah.
if you have a lot of injuries, the guys that are coming back, is there a limit on how many players we can register?
So the 30s and the 40s have always been liberal in terms of not really having any limits so much on rosters and all of that. We don't lock rosters down or anything. So you can take players out and put players in. That's fine.
But is there a limit on how many people we can register? say 25 or 30 or
So the system will allow you to take up to 25 players per league rules. However, let's say you have someone who's injured and they can't play, you want to take them out, you can do that, or you can just bring a guest player and check them in on the field. That's fine.
Okay.
The finals, the last one.
Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
And the game, we were up and their coach was working the ref. And the ref gave him 2 PKs when we were up 2-1, including a red when I went to not even to me, he threw out 2 of our players and just like that red. And I pulled a second 10. And that was the last game in FXA. And we used to win that. Yeah.
Now here's the thing.
Step on our field.
We could gamble. We could gamble and very like we get a lot of
Players approach, sorry what happened.
You'll have to.
I'm pretty confident that 10
And there's times I go like, what the free throw? And then immediately I'm like, I'm not gonna carry on. FXA, you say, damn it, they'll give you a card. Oh my god. I once did. The guy played in my back legs, and I went, fuck, like an injury. Like, I'm not allowed to do an FXA.
No. But
And
some will let
into my plant legs, and the ref called me
like
foul. I'm like, fuck, is that what we and he gave me a red and the kid a yellow for the foul. What is more dangerous? The guy just stood at my back leg. I was playing in the tournament 8 minutes after I released the ball. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
No, like some will let you slide, and it'll be like, oh, well, you didn't go through the man. I'm like, who says you can't slide? Now I can slide it, but if I get the ball far enough away from the man, I can't. I'm like, dude, I don't even know anymore. In FXA, you can't slide at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even the top of it, you can't slide.
Oh, no, it's sushi.
So I use
You know, James was not Olivia first division.
Yeah.
Bro, I had to defend that guy, and I can't like even lunge into him. Bro, I had no chance. He scored like after. What am I gonna do? I had 3 surgeries, and I gotta defend him on my feet. Yeah, right.
It's funny. I tried to explain to them the higher divisions they had because they eventually got to they had like casual, competitive, and
we have a tax.
I'm like, at the very least in the league, like it's actually more dangerous if you're not letting a slide because what happens in that league so many times if you're playing together in the center mid, if I'm going into a challenge and a guy's coming full speed and I'm coming across, I can't go low, so I play the ball and then he just runs right through me. Like I get rolled.
So if we have 12 teams, that's
But of course there are guys that can slide like assholes that are terrible at it. I get it.
It's not the same because one team has to take a slide.
I mean, I go here. They lost a lot of guys.
One of those free agents was about did nothing.
Because right now,
They play on a Thursday.
Some of them do. JP's been hurt, so he's out.
that's what I'm saying.
But Bryson will be there.
So
He needs a tax.
basically,
Yeah,
we're
that's
all
all
stuff
right.
together.
Damon's been hurt. Yeah, I'll play Thursday. Nelson's gonna run that team. Yeah, him and I have different interacting styles, so it's always fun. I hope we can hear this. He plays with Teddy. He's coming off injury. I haven't seen him play in a while, but he hurt his knee actually when we played against their team last year.
And then
Him and Nelson got together and Tony recognized.
I'm not sure.
because you're just all you're doing is
He's been out for, I think Tony's out for 3 months.
but then if you have
Yeah.
yeah. But then
I'm trying to blame the other,
okay, we're gonna
They
have
don't get to make that.
As long as
it's official.
playoffs and whatnot.
We're not profitable.
That's where it goes.
As long as you're official
How many
nonprofit.
teams, how many games does most teams guarantee? 10 games?
Like
Wait, I had the
yeah, because we added in constantly.
He's the one that called that crazy call in the finals.
I felt like I
For
heard
the
it.
summer that almost
Pretty high up.
Yeah.
That's on video and I still like, he called me for like, last like,
Those who don't make it,
minute.
it's done.
I don't know if you were at it.
You can team.
I think
You
I was
would.
like, I mean, you know, those are the
Yeah, everyone thought he called the
Well, not
And I'm also
John,
thinking people get injured.
with the defender and the keeper.
We're gonna
Just
do
that.
the same person last year.
If
Yeah,
we're
he was on the meeting, that card dropped. Like, and Oscar didn't get it. The guy just dove into me.
Yeah, the 30s.
That was the
that's where it's a
craziest
little
call
bit
I've ever
different.
had.
We have a semifinal.
I mean, everybody can make, I mean.
It's funny, the AR on that side is a younger guy. He's a good rep.
And we can get to 12.
I like to do that too.
and
I like to play
Indian guy? No, taller.
They still gotta pay.
He's taller than me. It's gotta be like 6.
With 11 teams on 12, that's 11 regular season games.
Probably like 24.
Yeah, that's what you do about.
But anyway,
Yeah, he was repping our game on over 30s a week later. I was talking to him, because he was AR on that side. I was like, what did you see? He's like, I didn't see anything. I don't know why he called your goalie. I'm like, he didn't call the goalie. He called me.
yeah, and then
I don't know what happened.
So you wanna do that? Four?
I do like to every time we play. Because I
No, we won all 3. We
I'd
won
rather
summer
have somebody say,
too.
oh, I need to play that team. If I wanna play
Summer
that
was
team, I might
tough.
make the playoffs, you know.
How about
I want nobody to say that. I want you to play all the
We
teams.
played.
The regular season.
Fall was tough for a different reason. We've had so many games.
Depends on what you wanna do.
This season might be the same.
Yeah.
You guys three-peated? We have so many games with like 11 guys. I think we played you guys with 11 and 12. Yeah. We played the game against
Alright.
down 2 people first half.
Alright, guys.
And then we had 10. It was a rough
Alright, guys,
season.
we're gonna go ahead and
10 with a 5.
come back into session.
You're gonna play 10 games here.
We almost lost to them in the semis.
If you make the final, you'll play.
We played terrible for the whole first half and ended up going to PKs.
Andy.
Maybe you go. It works yourself out well with 11 teams. Because you play 10 games, you play every team once.
You guys never carried that many
I'll
14, 15 guys.
We have like 20 guys on the roster. So do I, yeah. Like, we get 15 on game day, I'm like, we'll be okay.
Alright, guys, we're gonna go ahead and resume here.
You can put them on the roster.
Andy will go ahead and act as, oh, I had a notebook here, too. Andy, can you step closer to the front, you don't mind? Just so it's easy for me to communicate with you. Where we want. It doesn't matter.
Let me sit here, then I can.
So we're gonna knock out the open first, and then get to the 30s, get to the 40s, and then let's get out of here. Okay, guys. All right. Okay, I'm gonna start with the open because then I don't have to do a follow-up meeting with open, try and gather everyone together. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the open. So open right now, it looks like we are gonna have 8 teams. Now the price doesn't really change too much with the open because you guys are just doing an 8-game season, and then the top 4 teams go to the playoffs. That's what you guys had last season. Now, unless you guys want to change the format or there's anything else, so open teams, I'll go ahead and open up the floor to you guys. Anyone in the room, you guys want to go? You have any?
We're good. Try hard is good.
You guys, okay. All right, let's get a roll for the open teams that are here real quick. I know Tryhards is here, Andy, and then Wash Boys is here. On those open teams on the video call, I think Pistoleros, Jonathan, you're there. Jonathan Contreras, can you hear us?
Rashid on the open team.
Yeah, what's the name of your team, please?
Local 26, Virginia.
Okay.
Local 26.
Okay.
Try hard, Watch Boys, Pistoleros, and Local 26.
Yeah. So okay, those are the 4 that are here. Are there any items you guys want to bring up to the table? No.
I'm good.
Okay. see if I can pull this up real quick. Oh, that's the admin page. Don't want to go there. So I know on your addendum that you guys had, and I'm going to go ahead and, as this loads, share it. Here we go. Okay, that's the appendix for the open. So I'm going to share this real quick. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, so the appendix here for the open from last year was pretty straightforward. You have we don't have any sin bins. Last year they voted to have, our general rules have a 3 yellow card accumulation. You sit out 1 game, but they changed it to 4.
I didn't understand that.
You can have up to 5 guest players per match during the regular season. Again, also you got to be 18 years old to play, obviously. You guys also have a roster lock. You guys have a roster lock, or you guys voted that in. So basically, the last game of the season, 8th or whatever the final game of the season is, you do have a roster lock to where you cannot modify your roster, and then your format. Again, we only have 8 teams, so really top half, top 4 go. If it's even 6 or 7 teams, it's top 4. So is there anything you guys want to change at all?
It's before the 8th game, so before your last regular season game. Just for
going into your 8th game.
Yep.
Yeah. At that point, you guys should pretty much know who you're gonna have. Okay. So if you guys don't have any changes or objections, then I'll just update the wording and keep things the same. Game balls, I know you guys had it where one each team supplied 1. You guys want to change anything, or you want to keep it at that?
Yeah. So the only thing is just you guys got to be better about bringing the ball.
Fair.
I lost 3 last season.
Yeah, I
mean,
think I lost 3.
And there were oftentimes we supplied 2 or 3 a game, and the other team supplied none.
Okay.
If that ends up happening, fine, it is what it is. But then the other team should help shag a ball once in a while. Should be a little
Fair enough. Okay.
Let me just chime in, mainly for Velico, but for all the managers. What I agree when we do the managers meet at the game, home team has to supply 2 balls, the away team 1 ball. So that way the game can keep going. The ball goes off. Some of those fields it takes a long time to keep playing. If the ball goes off on one side of the field, that team goes and shags it. If it goes off on the other side, that team shags it. It's a little bit annoying as a referee to administer it, but the more that we kind of create that culture, hey, we play more, we lose less balls. So I encourage you all to do that. And if you can relay that to referees, because that's a unique rule that's in the rules here.
Yeah, so if you guys want it, because the current rules have it where the home team supplies the ball. But again, we have these addendums there for a reason. So
each team has it. It has to supply 1 right now.
Right.
For ours.
Yes, that's your current.
Yeah, I'm good with that. We weren't even getting that. If we do 2 and 1, that's fine too. But at least 1 and 1 in a playable ball.
If you guys want to keep it at 1 and 1, then we'll leave it at that. But the referees, but we will hold you to it. We will hold you to it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone else on the video call? Any open team that has anything to say on that front?
I just got a question about the roster lock.
Go ahead.
If there's an injury, let's say on the first game of the playoffs, can you add somebody to replace the injured guy or no? Or at that point?
So that's the reason why you guys have a 25-man roster, because the likelihood of half your team being gone or something like that, to where, I get it, players get injured, but you have a rather large roster. Now it would be tough if you're going into the playoffs and But if you're in an absolute dire situation where, let's say, half your team is decimated, you can't field a team, you know, that's something to where maybe you being another team manager going into that match, we could you know, work that issue out. But outside of that, I mean, you know, that's preventative. You know, the whole issue of having 25 players on the roster so that, you know, you shouldn't run into that issue. But if something extreme or out of the ordinary happens, you know, we can sit down and work that out between the teams that are going into that match.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Okay. All right. I guess Andy, we'll just vote to see if the teams want to carry the same rules over as is, or I guess we'll leave it as that then. We don't need to.
If there's nothing you proposed.
Okay. Okay. Then we'll just. That's fine with that. Okay. Is there anything else?
We would have in the extra ball, but we couldn't even get 1-1. So
Okay.
we'll settle for the 1.
Yeah,
All right. Okay. The 30s. The 30s. Are there any proposals for the 30s? I know for us we have a little bit of a unique thing going on there. Are there any in terms of format? Have we, you know, some of us kind of discussed what we want to do? Do you want to, you know, again, we're looking at a longer season due to the sheer number of teams. Anyone want to, Jason, you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say, if we're gonna have 11 teams, I think we all agreed that play each other round robin in the regular season, that gives you 10 regular season games. And then semifinal, final. So 12 games for the champions and the runners-up. No consolation.
Okay.
Semifinal, so one semifinal, or two semifinals.
Two semifinals and final, so there would be, yeah,
3 games.
yeah.
12 games, right? 12 games.
Yeah, because everybody would play round robin with 11, but he said there could be 12, so that would change things.
Now,
So based on the number of weeks, though, which you count, 12 gives us no buffer. Looks like there's 12 weeks if we're assuming spring break, there's no games.
Right.
So with 11 teams, which functions the same way as having 12 teams, basically, if we want to play everyone once, that only leaves one remaining week with no buffer for playoffs. So if we play every team once, then there's one final week that I propose we do 1v2, 3v4, and whatnot. If that we have a weather event and we can't push into the summer for any reason, then we should maybe just use points from the season. Basically, we'll have to have.
well, I mean, one thing I was thinking, and Garth and I were chatting about this, and I already spoke this, I'm going to say it out loud, is, again, you know, with the number of teams that we could potentially have, do we do something similar to what the Open has done, which is you just have a set number of games, you do away with the consolation. I even threw in an idea of like, do you then expand it and have like, you know, top half? So do you have like 5 or 6 teams go? You know, again, and so let's say if you do, I'm throwing something out there. If you do like an 8-game regular season, and then, you know, now the downside is you won't be able to play everybody, but the upside is we can kind of control, you know, the time that we have on the permits regarding that. So again, because we do have spring break, and then typically we always want to account for, you know, we always leave at least a 2 weeks buffer for weather or anything like that. Or unless you want to gamble and say, okay, we're going to get the summer permits and play into then. So, you know, Garth, what are you thinking?
Oh, I was thinking about our playoff.
Well, so the 40s moved to playoffs, okay.
I mean, like you.
I think it boils down to either we try to play everybody once, or more like more enhanced playoffs, more weeks of playoffs is what it boils down to, the trade-off.
So that'd be adding a quarterfinal in there, basically, in essence?
If we're having more than 4 teams, yes.
Yeah, okay, so we basically have, that would be 3 potential games for a lower seeded team, plus 8 regular seasons, that'd be 11 games for that team, and then what about would that be like a 16 entry with top two getting a bye?
But
And then
before we
then
go
doing-
all the way down that path, I propose we vote on one of those, like, at the high level. Personally, I prefer we play everyone once.
Yeah,
I like the
that's
European
better.
model, and you expressed that interest as
Yeah.
well. If that's the case, we don't need to go down the whole playoff path of how we do this type of thing. So, put to a vote, it looks like there's what, 5 of it, if you're all.
Oh wait, I'm representing Nelson.
Yeah, Neil, oh, did he step out?
Who do we have here?
Is he on?
I think he's still there. It doesn't matter who.
Okay.
Ryan will vote for Crystal City FC.
Okay,
good. So
gotcha.
I'll just argue with the room and not you. Great.
Are there any other over 30 teams on the call?
I'm voting for Supernova.
Okay, all right, okay. Let's get the roll for the over 30 teams.
Is Pat in there still or no?
I believe Pat should be there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, he's still there.
I think you guys should definitely play each other and then go from there.
And then, so if we keep that, so
we have a
that's,
contingency plan.
alright, so let's vote on that right now. So.
Wait, hold on. Let's get the teams that are here. Let's get the roll
I've
for.
got it. Crystal City FC, Cochabamba, Rampage, Supernova, and Lumar. Oh, and sorry.
It's all
So we have
good.
7.
Hold on real quick. Let me just double check so we don't leave anyone out. Where's the?
Maybe 12.
Okay. Any other over 30 teams on the call here? I don't see any other. Okay. All right. Well, those are there. And the reason why I also was throwing out the idea of possibly changing the format is just again because of the number of teams that we have this year. And also trying to just be a bit more innovative. Think outside the box. That's just me.
So Teddy, sorry. It's what, top 2 play finals game? Is that what it is?
No, it's currently top 4.
Oh, top 4. Yeah. All right.
But it's currently top 4, but you have like 10, potentially 12 teams.
Yeah, I got it.
Going for 4.
It depends a little bit on how many teams we have at the end.
Yeah.
If we end up with 10, there would potentially be 1 week of playoffs where everyone plays, and then of the top 4, they move to a.
But right now, we have 11 confirmed. That's what I'm
But with
saying.
11 confirmed, it's only work out. There's only 1 final playoff game at the end, so it's be 1 versus 2, 3 versus 3,
Yeah.
4.
Even if that's with 12, it's the same format then. 'Cause
Right.
So there will be a final. What I'm asking is there will be a 1 versus 2 final. Because what you proposed earlier was like not having any playoffs at all. Was like just running your English league style.
So what I'm saying is we plan for a 1 week playoff, and so it'll be a 1 versus 2 at the end.
That's what I meant.
However, if we have a weather event and we decide that we can't push things back, in that case, as an alternative, we'll just use English style points.
Okay.
So if it's set at 11 teams, right? Because that's what you have right now. It's just a 1 versus 2, or does that include the top 4?
So that the plans then is if everything goes to plan, we don't have a weather week that kills everything.
Sure.
The last week of the season, June 13th, will be 1v2, 3 versus 4, 5v6, 7 versus 8, 9v10, and 11th wouldn't play.
Yeah, it's tough.
11th probably doesn't
It's
play.
better once teams are final, but once the number's final. I prefer top 4 make a playoff or something.
Yeah, because the thing is like there's also the aspect I also think about the time component. So that's why I'm saying that again I know we're so used to folks want to all play each other. I get it. It's kind of like the ethos of what we do. But would it hurt us to say instead of doing a 10-game regular season where everyone play each other, why don't you do 8 or 9? And then do you really have to play everybody? I mean, I understand it, but then like for the sake of what we're working with, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I see issues with both ways. Either way, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, neither is perfect.
If we had like 14, I'd definitely be in favor. If we had 14 teams, then yeah, we gotta cap this.
Well, 14 will probably split the division at that point.
Well, plus you have unbalanced schedules, right?
11 or 12, we have just enough so we can play everyone and do it.
I'm fine with any format. The only format I'm against is one that doesn't have a final, like a championship game. I don't want it to be like English style where
It's also not good for the league, either,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If they want to.
Because you also think
Everyone
about,
likes the finals.
Yeah, it's gotta be a final.
you gotta have a final,
You gotta have a final.
and you also think about, you know, when you have new teams come in and it's like, okay, do you also want to try and like, you know, create some opportunity to where it's like,
Yeah.
if you know, if you do have a winning season, you still have a chance to,
That's my point.
you know, to play, you know, so
Yeah,
it
you get an upset loss or you lost a couple of games.
right, you know, so and that's the
you
thing.
still have a chance.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like if you keep it concentrated with top four, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But I think top four works well when you have like 8 teams. But then when you have like double digits,
But that's why top two though is a real concern, right? Because you'll have
Right.
you have 80% of the teams not relevant for their last couple of
and,
games,
right,
and then you have guys not showing up. You know, they got other stuff to do.
and that's something. So you want to have something that's still competitive, but you also want something to where, like, you know, there's a reasonable opportunity.
Exactly.
You know, because
you don't want to be checked out mid-season.
Right. Because for me, my big concern is when the new teams, how long are they going to stay?
Yeah.
That's my worry, and it's hard to hunt for new teams to replace them.
Why don't
So
you see what the total the final team count ends up being, right? Because I know it's 11, but it always goes up or down.
Who's confirming
One or
the
two, you know.
teams? Do you have like a list of the teams?
I do, but on top of my head, I'm trying to run through this and get this done.
You could even do divisions potentially, like you did for the summer cup. I know I don't.
It'll be tough.
But then the winner of each division could play each other. That way you don't have to worry about imbalance.
Alright, let me wrap this up so we can move on as a proposal, which is, so if you're in favor of a round robin, so we'll play every team once, and then the final playoff week, however, we have 10 teams, we could have one more playoff week.
Well, here's the thing. Keep in mind, we have confirmed 11. That is a fact.
Okay, but I'm just saying, the idea is we play everyone once and then one playoff week. Alright, so that's what's the proposal, okay? Obviously I'm in favor of that. Crystal City, are you okay with that?
No, Nelson, it's up to you. I'd prefer 4.
I think competitively 4 would be great, but I mean, it doesn't matter. 4 or 6 doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter, right? Go
Well,
ahead.
does 2 matter for you? That's the question.
Well, what we're
What's being
voting on
proposed is 2.
Hold on one second, Nielsen. So what we're voting on basically is essentially what it'll come down to is it'll be the top 2 teams that would play.
In the postseason?
No, for the playoffs.
In the finals.
No, it would just be a final game. It would be the top 2.
I think the option of going with 4 teams in the postseason would be better, like to keep it with the same format as we have, if we can.
So that means you're not going to play every team once.
That's okay.
Okay, I mean, if that's where you guys want to be, that's fine. But the alternative is you don't play every team once. You're not going to see the paper what that is.
But then you have a 9-game regular season is what it is, basically.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Alright, so it sounds like you guys are not in favor of what I proposed. Coach Obama?
Top 4.
Well, I mean, no, we're voting on.
No, top 4.
Okay, you don't want to play. And so let's be clear about by top 4.
I mean 9 games.
You were here before.
So
can we just do a +1?
First started the open.
So sorry, what's the question?
Can we just do a +1? So like we did, I think it was last season.
Yeah, what we
Play
did
right
was
on the final week, 5 plays 6, 7 plays 8.
It was a
9 plays
consolation
9,
round.
and then 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3, and there's 1 final game.
Yeah, it was a consolation. That's basically what we did last season. That what you're proposing is what we did in the fall.
Okay. It's good.
Okay.
That's
is that doable?
but
We don't play every team once. Like, there'll be one team you don't play.
You play 11 weeks. We have 12 weeks to work with. 11 weeks to play, but you only have 1 game. We need a 13th. That would only work, Teddy, to play everyone once if we can go 1 weekend to like June 20th.
That's not bad though. You can get like anything.
I mean, we probably could do that, but again, you know, Teddy gambled permits and then also getting ready for summer play as well is another thing. So let's do this. Let's first vote on your proposal that you were saying, and then we'll go to the next one.
Alright. So the proposal again is round robin and then 1 final playoff week. 1v2, 3v4. Were you in favor? You were in favor? Okay. Rampage.
As long as it's a final, I can.
Supernova.
I actually got.
Supernova on the.
Play every Play
Just
everyone.
propose both and have people.
Play everyone, in the final week, you're good with that?
I feel like we should be proposing both and
Yes.
just having people vote
Choose
instead
one
of,
or the other, yeah. rather than-
yeah, instead of having two separate counts, right? 'Cause-
Okay, all right.
That's a better
and
idea.
let's just end it, alright?
Okay,
So top
so-
four or top two. And then obviously if you do the top four approach, you're not gonna play one team in the regular season.
Okay. So, all right. So this is what we'll do.
Well, let me finish mine, and
Okay.
we can see if
But it's
things
still
change.
gonna be, those are the two different people, right? So let's just vote and get it
Yeah,
over.
there's no sense in voting on yours and then having a counter vote, you know, like, cause that's just gonna make the votes murky.
Don't
No,
give me
no, no,
a
no,
vote
no,
on your
guys. Here,
vote.
hold on. Let me step in. Let me step in. What Andy's trying to say is, we have option A, option B, or option C, and we just vote it out and see which
The
one.
most votes for
Which one?
each option.
Right. Am I
But we
correct?
only have two options, so just propose them both at the same time and let's have people.
Is that correct?
That's where we've gotten to, yes.
Okay. So what we got to clarify is the first option, which is
First option, play everybody once, and then we have a final playoff week.
So one and two. One and two.
One plays
Yep.
two for the championship.
Versus top four, and you lose one. Those are the two, you pick one.
Okay.
The alternative is you don't play one team in the league, you know, whoever ends up being. We will have the same final playoff week, but there will be 4 versus 1, 2 versus 3, and the winner of those 2 games, they play one final game. No one else does, just those 2
Yep,
teams.
that's fine, that's good, I like that.
Okay, but you don't play every team once.
Yeah, we're fine with that, I think.
Okay.
It keeps it more competitive so people don't forfeit too.
Will be relevant, you know, late in the
More
season.
teams at least, yeah.
Yeah, most people will be.
Teddy, are you voting for Fairfax?
Hey Dave, you can vote for me so I can just run this meeting and get out of here. So thank you for jumping in.
Top four. I vote top four.
Okay.
All right. So 2 options: top 4, 4-team final, and round robin with playoffs. All right. So, Crystal City 4-team final
Yep.
or
14.
okay. Coach Obama, do you want 4-team final or round robin with playoffs?
Top 4.
Rampage.
Top 4.
Supernova.
Play everyone.
Lumark.
Round robin.
Fairfax.
Hey Dave, vote for Fairfax is on the table.
Top 4.
And then, okay, it's 4 teams voted for the 4-team final and 3 teams for the round robin and the final playoff week. So, all right,
So you gotta show up.
so everyone's gonna miss out on playing one team, and then we'll have that 4-team final and the finals. June 13th will be the final.
Okay. All right.
And then we'll.
Okay. Just to go over real quick, the format we had, the goalkeepers are exempt from the sin bin. You guys hear that? Remember, this goalkeeper is exempt from the sin bin unless you guys want to change that. Do you guys still want to keep the sin bin 5-minute sit out, or do you guys want to change that?
I'd vote change.
I vote change it too, I think that's ridiculous.
I hate this.
Well, that's why we're here.
I'm a hockey guy and I
Yeah,
can't
there's no
stand
need
it.
for that, like, that disrupts the game entirely, yeah.
Well, the whole idea is to cool people off.
Yeah,
But
but it makes people more agitated though.
Correct,
because, you know,
and if you get a ref, and most refs are great,
And
but
it singles the player out who goes off, and that person then feels targeted later in the game by that referee, and they have animosity for being sent off.
well, I don't know about that.
I don't know, I've seen it happen multiple times last season.
You guys can vote.
Well,
Yeah, but I've seen it go both ways.
Yeah,
It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it really helps people cool off, and you don't have to play with like 7v8. I mean, Lumark themselves, we've ended up with like eight men on the field too. So
I agree with Patrick. I think it prevents more
You know,
red cards.
that's your manager's job to pull the guy off the field.
Exactly.
You you know, there could be an opportunity to take the player off if you want to. How about a free sub during that time? And you can say, I can take this guy off, or you can just leave him on.
I've just seen too many times a guy gets a yellow, feel like it was undeserved, and maybe it was, you know, and then say they give him a goal while they're short, that guy comes in and he wrecks somebody, because he can't hit the ref. So
Yeah,
he's
Nielsen,
wrecking
can you mute your
opposing
mic,
players.
please?
We had a game last season where we only had 11 guys. And so one of our guys turned in a power play for somebody. You know,
Okay.
that's not fair.
Okay, all right. So we'll go ahead and put that to a vote then.
I would be open to
red
cards come right after a yellow card.
Okay,
And so maybe it's not the guy who got it, but the one he got it against. So if you remove one of those guys from the occasion, you avoid that red card.
Okay, hold on one second, Dave. You had something. Please repeat yourself, Dave. Guys,
I
hold on one
was gonna
second.
say, I would be open to removing the sin bin aspect of it, where you're playing down a man for 5 minutes. But I think that forcing the player to leave the field does prevent escalation, and it does prevent red cards and lets the player cool off. So maybe you eliminate it, let the team stay at full strength.
Yeah.
I would agree with I could agree with that, but I think that's a good idea.
One thing to remember is that with the sin bin, remember you can replace that player.
I'm talking about situations where you might only have 11 guys there at that game. Like, and that has happened several times with our team. That's life, man. Like, but I'm saying, like, it hurts the team that actually does only have 11 guys there. Like, if you get a yellow card.
Well,
it's happened to us multiple times.
You only play
Andy's
short
team
if
scored 2
you
goals
don't,
on
if you have
us.
11 or less.
Oh yeah, I said I really, I'm thinking
Okay.
it's the silly
All right.
FSA rule.
Okay, well then, since we've debated that, let's go ahead and then decide. Do we want to keep the existing sin bin rule, or do you want to go to the standard? And then we'll go ahead and go around the room and start.
Alright, so the proposal is to keep the sin bin rule, which is that guy has to go off for 5 minutes and can be replaced. Alright, Crystal City.
I vote to get rid of it. Just give the guy a red if he keeps acting up. If you're the ref, you know. That's how I do.
Just like you want to get okay?
Yeah, I mean, if he gets a red card, he gets a red card.
Yeah.
No, we're saying yellow card.
Yeah, not say if he keeps going, you give him the red he deserves.
Just simplify it. Do you want to keep or you don't want to keep it?
I want to keep it.
So you're against keeping the sin bin rule where you go for 5 minutes. Rampage.
Remove it.
Supernova.
Remove it.
Straight red.
Blue Mark.
Keep it.
Fairfax.
Keep it.
And Bravo would want to keep it. So it's 3 to 4. Again, 4 are against it. So the majority of the league has voted to get rid of the sin bin rule for this season.
Okay. All right. Well, that's how democracy. That is how democracy works. That is how democracy works. Okay. Is there any?
I have a quick question, please.
Yes, sir.
Not trying to take you guys back to the open. Does that same rule sin bin exist on the open league?
No, the sin bin does not exist in the open.
Thank you.
Does not exist in the open. Okay. All right. Is there anything else to propose regarding? So Dane, that means we can set a price for the 30s then.
Yep.
Okay.
10 games plus the final.
2,200 even.
Okay. So that's.
I see Dane has all the power.
Oh no, he calculates it. Okay, so guys, due to that format, the cost for the 30s will be $2,200. I will update it before I leave, and then you can go, or as I'm driving, and you guys can go ahead and pay. All right, 40s, you guys are up. You guys are up, and we will knock out the 40s, and then we will wrap things up here.
One thing I'll throw out under or over 30s, anything with the underage players, keep it as it is, or any adjustments?
Hey, guys, listen up. Andy has a proposal. Andy, go ahead, please.
Just want to throw out do we want to change? The only thing to me that's not clear about that is that 3 on the roster? So if he gets hurt, too bad, or should we say 3 at a particular game?
I think it's.
They're not the same thing, right?
For the game.
For the game, yeah.
Per game, which means you
Oh,
have
I see.
5 on your
Oh,
roster.
Oh, yeah, per game, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, per game.
So just voting to clarify that. Should we say only 3?
You need to clarify that.
A game day roster, basically.
Okay, so,
Match day roster.
okay, what, because I remember the general understanding was on your roster. However, I do, I mean, what you guys are saying makes sense. So should we, honestly, then that's just adjusting the language. That's not so much changing the rule. That's just adjusting.
Anybody against that?
It's just adjusting the language.
Okay.
Because
Hey, it's unanimous. We're fine with that. So
okay,
it's three underage at a game.
Per game, and you guys do understand. And Garth, is it the calendar year? Am I correct? Is it calendar year? For what constitutes someone who's 28, 27?
Yes, calendar year.
Calendar year. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is just adjusting language, so we can I'll adjust that. So Andy, if you can just write that down, and I'll take care of that and upload it.
Same thing, 37,
Oh.
turning 38.
Hey Teddy, you didn't make 9 o'clock.
Sorry.
You didn't make 9 o'clock.
Oh God, I know. All right, here we go. 40s. 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 All right, 40 teams that are here. Teams in the 40s. Okay. What are the 40s? What have you guys decided for your format and everything? I know you guys are playing league table for the longest time. Are you guys changing anything? What's the proposal for the 40s? Let's see how many 40s teams are here first.
We have 4. I think Jason's on.
Team names for me?
Lumark,
Yeah, I think
Beer.
Motors,
Old Dominion, this one?
Who's online?
Fitness.
Jason, you still there? Fitness?
Yep. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Is Wes there?
Wes? Okay, they're not. Okay.
Matthew Brody, is he there?
Nope. Okay. All right. So how many teams we have for the 40s present?
5.
5. Okay. All right. Let's get to it.
So we are doing 10 games, right?
Yes.
Plus a final. So we got,
So league style.
we haven't got our exact format yet, but that's what we know that we're gonna do, is 10 games.
Okay.
Simple.
Okay. All right.
I don't think we have any, do we have any rules?
Hey Garth, how are we gonna do the format? Are we gonna do playoffs?
So that's what I was gonna send over to all the managers. I'll send it over like 2 options of what we could do. And I'll let them, we can decide on that offline.
So I could have just not sat here for 2 hours and just waited for your email.
You have nothing to
Or you could
do.
have showed up
I
here
mean-
and ate with us.
I mean, if they didn't show up, then forget them. Let's vote now and let's just figure it out. Why wait?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point of the meeting is, I mean, we put this out.
So we can do, if we have 8 teams, we can play each other, everyone play each other once. And then after that, we can seed each other to 1 through 8 and start there as a quarterfinal. And after that, you'll get either 9 or 10 games. That's 10, right? It's 10 games. And then if you lose, you go to the consolation bracket.
Right. Okay.
That makes sense?
I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the best way to do it.
Okay.
That is consensus.
All right. Should we go ahead and vote on that then, or is everyone unanimous with that with the 40s?
I think we're unanimous on that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. All right. If there's, unless there's anything else that we need to bring up, that's going to be it. Registration closes. Guys, listen up, please. Registration.
Teddy, we have
Yes,
to
sir.
figure out how much the over 40s is as well, right?
$21.75.
It's $21.75 for the
Gotcha.
40s.
Okay.
$21.75. All right, guys.
And basically, Garth is the same thing, right? We can, whatever. I mean, you know, in terms of players and game day, I mean, we're always pretty laid back about all that stuff anyway.
Yeah, so, but we're gonna be sending out, like, when you register your team, you'll be getting a link to where you're gonna send to your players. Teddy,
Yeah, let me clarify this. This is league wide now. So the online system we have, you gotta sign waivers, you gotta have a roster. So no more of this showing up at the field and you're just debating with the referees about what is what. No, we're not doing that anymore. You got to have a roster, okay? That allows us to be able to track our cards. We can update scores on the field, you know, who scored and whatnot. We need to, you know, we're modernizing. So that's the standard. So what will happen is.
But
yes.
you said we can have game day guests, right?
Yeah, you can. You can check in guests on the field. You'll be able to check in guests on the field. You'll be able to check in guests on the field. The system will.
But they have to register the day before. I mean, so.
No. Guest players. So if you bring a guest player onto the field, right? Like, hey, I'm bringing a player who's not on the roster. We will check in that player on the field right there. They just have to bring their ID.
Okay.
And they'll be checked in as a guest player. The only thing I'll do is I'll send a link so that guest player can do a waiver. You guys will be responsible for doing that, and that's it. Just for them to just sign a waiver. That's it. Okay.
Teddy, one question.
Yes.
About the underage players. I know that the new checking system has the feature basically checking the date of birth. But would be also the system be able to not allow you to add a fourth underage player on the roster?
A fourth that is no, we don't have that.
Okay.
We don't have that. But look, I mean, this is we shouldn't be extremely legalistic to the point where if people are flat out abusing the rules, then we have to go spend money to go do something like that. Where folks are trying to sneak in players who are now. We did have one incident last year.
Only once.
We had one incident last year, and we investigated it, and it was found that they did, and that team had their game forfeited. It was blatantly obvious. But
Six 20-year-olds. They were
but
putting it on Facebook.
but and we but outside of that, you know, look, if the referee obviously can tell someone is obviously not the age for that division, then you know. Any ref will say, hey, let me see your ID and see your age. And if that gets back to us, we'll deal with it. But we haven't had that problem. We had one team that blatantly did it. So, but
One last question, Teddy.
Yes.
What's the ref going to require for check-in? Like some guys forget their IDs, and before in the past they could just use some type of social media, you know, photo of their home account, whatever. It's been okay. Is it? Over 40s, it's kind of a different
Jason,
thing.
Jason, do you see the shared screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So, on there is the appendix for what is required for check-in, and you have to, at minimum you need to use some type of government ID. So I don't know of any instance that I'm aware of that teams are using social media pages to verify their identification.
Oh, okay.
That should not be happening. If it is happening, we have a problem. But that should not be happening. So, you know, we have 2 signers in our league, and they know what to do. So, okay. All right, is there anything else? Registration closes on the 10th. So that gives you 5 days. Well, tomorrow will be 4 days. If you're having problems with the online system or anything, contact us. We will get you sorted. But please get paid up. Have your roster.
When are games starting?
So the over 40 division is set to start, and the open is set to start on the 17th of March. Okay.
And what about the over 30s?
The 21st.
21st.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions?
Don't you have a game? I thought you had a game tonight.
It's at 10:25. I'll make it. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? Okay. All right. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Teddy.
Sorry, Eddie.
Would you be cool with the 30-man roster?
Thank you, Teddy.
30-man roster.
Have a good night.
I don't think anybody would care. 30-man
Thank you so much. Okay. Good seeing you. Take it easy.
When everybody shows up, that they show.
Make sure they don't play on other teams.
Yeah, the 30s, we don't have any, there's not much restriction on that.
Yeah.
We should go.
Yeah.
Alright, this is great.
I've never
I'll
seen
sit
that.
down. We are on 37.